Hello there once again, heroes and errands alike. My name is theroy, and sorry for this weird video out of just nowhere. So the Nintendo Switch presentation happened last night, but I've been sick for the past couple days, so I was already in bed by the time it was happening. And I did already watch this trailer, the Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I want to watch it again because I'm gonna watch it. I always like watching them a second time. Then I want to talk about it for a little bit, and you know, because I'm a major Nintendo fan. I mean, you can see, you know, the little Legend of Zelda print right here I got from a friend of mine. But yeah, so I've been a big Zelda fan all my life, hence the name theroy. But Breath of the Wild is a game all Zelda fans have been excited for about, I think, 6 years. It's the newest console game. If you don't know, it's the newest Zelda console game that's on a home console with the Nintendo Switch. So I'm still a little sick, by the way. So I want to watch through Breath of the Wild, the new trailer, and then BS about it for a little bit, and then you know, see what else happens. So yeah, let's get right into it. See. Oh, there it is. Master Sword itself. Where's the camera? Shut up, phone. Oh my god, look at it. It's beautiful.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of the Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
That look on your face tells me that you have no recollection of me, however.
I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing.
Here it comes! You must save her, my daughter.
Open your eyes.
I didn't see that part. March 3rd, baby! March 3rd this year. Oh my god, I'm so hyped. You all have no idea how hyped I am. Well, I bet you a lot of you do, if you're a Zelda fan. Okay, so some thoughts on the trailer. Holy fuck. That's all I have to say right now. Holy fuck. I personally have to say, okay, so the Twilight Princess trailer is one of my favorite Zelda trailers ever. The original trailer, not the one that came after, but the original Twilight Princess trailer is one of my favorite Zelda trailers ever, just because that is the first one I ever seen. Skyward Sword trailer, kinda for me. But I love this trailer. I think this is actually my favorite Zelda trailer now, because it showcases literally everything you need to see. But then I want to move to a point that that me and a friend were actually discussing. He's worried that Breath of the Wild is not going to be as good because it'll have voice acting. Breath of the Wild is going to have full voice acting, apparently. I personally don't mind that. I personally think that it's actually a good change that Nintendo's trying to do to add voice acting. I've always told everybody this, I could care less if they put in voice acting, but they cannot, and I repeat, cannot give Link a voice. They can't do that. And from the looks of it, they're not going to do that. And what would actually be really cool with what Nintendo could do is if at the beginning of the game, or even in an options menu somewhere, it would basically tell you, it would give you a prompt at the beginning of the game and say like, this game has a voice acting option. Would you like to enable that? And then if the player would not like to enable that, they can turn it off and it'll just do the normal text as a normal Zelda game, adding, like the characters, gasps, or sounds, whatever they make. I feel like that would actually be really cool. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. Like I said, I was too sick yesterday to see the Nintendo, the Switch presentation. Another thing I want to move to is the Master Edition, Breath of the Wild. I got really confused there for a little bit when I was looking at it because it was $130, and when I read the description it said a Nintendo Switch and then the Sheikah slate case. I misread it. I thought it said the Nintendo Switch and it, but it was saying it's a Nintendo Switch Sheikah slate case that comes with it. So those of you that don't know, the Master Edition for the NX version of Breath of the Wild will come with a Master Sword, a Rebirth statue, a Sheikah coin, a tapestry of Calamity Ganon, a well-worn map, a song disc, the game itself, the Sheikah slate case, and then there's one other thing, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that itself is $130, and I'm actually really upset that they're actually not making it a bundle. Like, you have to, if you want the Master Edition, the cool Master Edition stuff, you have to buy the Master Edition, which is $130, and then the Nintendo Switch, which is about $300, so you're going to be shelling out $430 for all of it. I was sincerely hoping Nintendo would have actually made it into a bundle, but I guess they're not, unfortunately, but it's not that big a deal, I guess. I guess it would have came out to be about the same price anyways if they would have made it a bundle. Sorry about that. One thing I'm really confused about in this game is I'm gonna let it play through again, but on like the lowest volume, because we don't need to hear it again, and I'm just gonna kind of talk as it plays, so you guys don't gotta look at just the Switch and whatever. I'm gonna put that like really, really low. Okay, so it's just gonna... Okay, there. One thing that confuses me about this game is that from the sound of it, they're talking about 100 years ago. Okay, let me actually restart. Okay. This game is sincerely confusing to me because it has all the races from the major Zelda games. It has the Korok, the Rudo, the Gorons, and the Zora, and I've seen the Gerudo in there too. But there's imagery of the goddess Hylia in here, especially with Zelda's little bracelets. She has the same kind of bracelets that Zelda wore in Skyward Sword. But then my question, yeah, see the Korok right there, and that's supposed to be the Great Deku Tree right there. So I'm just curious as where, and I know that like Nintendo pretty much just kind of threw up the timeline to be its own thing when they originally made it though. But then since then they've been building off the timeline. their games have been building off the timeline. So my main question is, where the fuck on this timeline? Because when we originally seen all the stuff, I seen the Rudo and the Kurok, and I'm like, okay, it's got to be after Wind Waker sometime. But now that I'm seeing Zora as well, and I'm seeing the imagery of the Sheikah and of the goddess Hylia, now I'm sincerely confused where it's going to be, because he said 100 years ago. He said, now I think you're ready to remember what happened 100 years ago. And with the imagery of the goddess Hylia still around, I'm thinking it's after Skyward Sword. But then the question remains, why the fuck are the Kurok and the Rudo there? Is the main question. And why the Zora are there already when it's only been 100 years. If it's only been 100 years after the events of Skyward Sword, then those I don't even remember what they're called, because I didn't really pay attention to Skyward Sword story that much. The fish creatures from Skyward Sword, they were looked like sea mushrooms to me. But those things couldn't have evolved into the Zora that fast, unless this is 1,000 years after the events of Skyward Sword, and then this is a separate Link, because this cannot be the same Link from Skyward Sword, could it? I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna skimp ahead to right here. This image right here. Okay, get out of here, annotations. This image right here has me confused. Because, let's say this happens after Skyward Sword, right? That would mean that this entity, Calamity Ganon, that would mean that this is the entity, the spirit of demise, the evil curse that, that he said would haunt, or that would battle Link and Zelda's bloodline for eternity. Oops, I hit my mic, I'm sorry. But then, if that's the case, then that means that it was only named Ganon. Well, what I'm trying to say is, we've seen the Gerudo lady. So what I'm thinking is, towards the end of the game, or at some point in the game, a bit of the Calamity Ganon, attaches itself to the Gerudo. And that's how Ganon becomes to be every 100 years, is that from this evil spirit, it births a new Ganon every year. And that shine on top of the castle is making me think. Now, I'm thinking of this as if it is right after Skyward Sword. Then, if that's the case, and it's been 100 years, then that shine on top of the castle is the Triforce. Because in the end of Skyward Sword, they had the Triforce on top of the goddess statue. And the way I see it is, they would have built their kingdom around that. So that has to be the Triforce, if this is after Skyward Sword. If this is after Wind Waker, I have no goddamn idea what that is, and how the Calamity Ganon thing comes back. Unless it's an evil spirit of Ganon after he was actually killed. But then one thing that has me confused is, if you look at, in previous screenshots and stuff, if you look at the architecture of the ruined Hyrule, it has a strange resemblance to Twilight Princess. And I don't really know what to think of that, because I'm still gonna say I'm actually now 100% thinking it's after Skyward Sword, because if it was after Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, the Sheikah would not have as prevalent of an image in this game as they do thus far. Because they have the towers, they have the Sheikah tablet. Apparently from an earlier trailer, Link was trapped in one of the Sheikah's shrines or trial shrines or something. I didn't look a lot into that because I only like to watch the trailers, but I do know how the game kind of starts. And then the Great Deku Tree is there. But then if the Great Deku Tree is there, you could pin that anywhere, except on the child timeline after Ocarina of Time. Because the Great Deku Tree wasn't there for Twilight Princess, so why the hell would he be there for this? But you could pin him in Skyward Sword, after Skyward Sword, and after Wind Waker for that. But I'm, now upon further thinking, I'm gonna be 100%, I believe it's right after Skyward Sword. How far down the line after Skyward Sword could be a different story, because this could be a completely different Link that's had his own life and then was put to rest for 100 years and then was brought back. Because I don't think this could be Link from Skyward Sword. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's something I've been meaning to, because, like, look at that. That right there is a Sheikah Tower. And it seems like... Oh, wait, hold up. Where are you? There. From the looks of it, these have the same architecture as the things the Sheikah have created. So what I'm thinking is, the Sheikah created these machines to protect Hyrule. But one thing led to another. Maybe the Calamity Ganon's spear possessed them, and now they attack the land. It's all very concerning, or confusing. And, we do know we're going to get the Master Sword, but the question on everybody's... Right here, though. Right here. Actually, before I continue with that. Right here. If you look at this fountain area, it looks exactly like the one from Twilight Princess. It looks like the fountain area in Hyrule Castle Town in Twilight Princess. So, what could that mean? But, I'm still thinking it's right after Skyward Sword. Distance, or length of time-wise after Skyward Sword, I have no idea. But, yeah. What I'm thinking, actually, now that I think about it off the top of my head, is that... I'm actually going to let this play again. Sorry about that. I'm just going to play that on mute. What I'm thinking is maybe this is like 1,000 or so years later, and then, let's say Calamity Ganon attacks, but they can't get the Master Sword yet. Maybe the Master Sword is still sealed. So they put Link in a slumber for 100 years to wait till it is a proper time to get the Master Sword, but then he wakes up and has no recollection of anything. I have no idea, and I don't think anyone does, and my video is lagging, so I'm just going to pause that. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on everything about Breath of the Wild. One cool thing I actually did see, though, before I actually end this off, is that that when Link's walking with the Gerudo girl, right here. So the Zora, the Korok, the Gorons, and the Rudo are all here, along with the Gerudo, and then who knows, maybe the Kikwi will show up again, or whatever the hell they're called, and the mole people. Maybe they'll bring all the races into this one. But then, I don't know. So I don't want to drag this video out to 20 minutes. So thank you all for watching. I'm really hyped for Breath of the Wild. I'm hoping I can get a device to record it for the channel. I don't think I'll be able to live stream it because I'm going to go with the cheaper route and get a PVR instead of a capture card. If you don't know what a PVR is, look it up. They have a lot of cheap ones on Amazon for recording. Yeah, but I don't have enough money for a capture card since I'm going to shell a lot of money out for this. Yeah, if you guys want me to do more Nintendo-based content, let me know in the comments. I would love to do more Nintendo-based content because I love Nintendo more than anything else. They're my favorite company, and I love them to death. And I hate how a lot of people don't like them, but to each their own. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you heroes later. Bye bye.